Thanks for intro. Hey everyone. My name is Enzo. Actually, my name is Hawk, if you see him on Twitter. One of the co-founders of HawkFi. My co-founder, Brady Don, is somewhere in the stage, so if you see him, ask for a t-shirt. But yeah, without further ado, just wanted to start the presentation. And honestly, super excited to share with everyone what we have in store with HawkFi. Because recently, we've decided to make a really big decision, and that is to fully focus on the Meteora ecosystem. That's why the talk is entitled HawkFi 2.0, High Frequency Liquidity Powered by Meteora. And so in this talk, I just wanted to really share with everyone what that means and what does the core focus mean and what are some of the features we have in store. So just an introduction of myself and HawkFi as a whole. This is back in 2020, 2021. I left a career in AI and finance to build a company out of my open source work. I was working worked for a lot of AI companies in the past. And I ended up going to Singapore, and that's where I met my co-founder, Brady Don. And we started a company and called it HawkSite at the time. And it actually didn't start out as a Web3 company. It started out as I built out this open source tool. We could backtest any trading strategy in 3 lines of code. And we sort of just built a UI for that. And just saw okay, what could happen out of it. So we built that UI. And what ended up happening was we added a bunch of data streams. We added, we had stocks, we had crypto, we added Forex. And it just so happened that majority of the users were crypto users. And so we went to that rabbit hole of okay, automated trading signals for different crypto assets. And eventually we ended up with the insight that what users would actually pay money for is if you could execute the execution. And that was back in 2021. For those who are still here, that was a super crazy time. That was NFT summer on Solana. The DeFi protocols were starting to come out of Ethereum, the early stages of Solana, even Terra for the ones that remembered it. And so yeah, we decided to build a smart contract on Solana. The initial goal was actually to build a yield aggregator, a really big yield aggregator. What at the time was Beefy Finance. So we were just let's build that out in Solana. That was back in 2022. And then it took a lot of iteration, really. We tried out borrow lending. We tried out LPing. We tried out even automating a lot of staking workflows. But it was back in 2023, 2024. That was when we got the exposure to LPing on CLMM and DLMM later with Meteora. And we really found a core value proposition in focusing on auto compounding and auto rebalancing. And from there, we really just focused on LPing and the automation space back in 2023, 2024. And for those that have used HawkFi, formerly known as HawkSite, you'll probably know us as supporting Orca, Radium, and Meteora. But I'm proud to actually announce that in 2025, we're now fully focused on innovating within the Meteora ecosystem. So I'm just going to share some of the things that we have in store. So in this infographic, you basically see a bunch of the core functionality, what we currently have, and some of the new features that we're either rolling out in the future or have just rolled out this week. So we have our classic auto rebalances, and the way that our rebalances have really upgraded, specifically on Meteora, is that we allow a lot of configuration around the direction. You can choose whether to rebalance on the way up, on the way down. Also, the scheduling of the rebalances have evolved a lot. In the first iterations of our rebalancing algorithm, at the most frequent, you would have to do every hour. But now we have rebalances that can be triggered as quickly as every 30 seconds. So really high-frequency liquidity automations on Meteora is something that we're really doubling down on. And some other automations that you see is our classic auto compounding. You can do that as quickly as 10 minutes. Our auto claim plus swap to sol, our take profit stop loss. We have a new presets feature that I'm going to talk more about. So yeah, so that's just a summary of some of the new features we have in store. But I really wanted to double down on some core features that we're going to be focusing a lot more in the coming weeks. And some of these we've just launched, actually. So the first of those features is what we call the pool sniper feature. So what do I mean by pool sniping? So what we mean is right now, actually, there's not a lot of pairs being created on Meteora every day. It's only in the order of around 120 pairs being created. And so the biggest bottleneck, actually, for DLMM LPing right now is Well, number one, the number of pairs that are being created daily. But secondary to that, it's how quickly after a new token is launched, mostly via Pump. Now we have these new ICM platforms on Meteora. So what we're really trying to do is really accelerate. Like, how do we get, let's say, a new token that's launched on, let's say, Pump or one of the Meteora ICM platforms, and how do we make it such that the DLMM pair gets created in the same minute that the token is launched? So that's what we're trying to do with Pool Sniper. So essentially, in one click, in this UI, as you can see, you can set up like the token mint, you can set up the configurations for the pool, and at the same time, you can enter how much sol you put in, and in one click, it creates the pair, it deposits into it, and the pair creation cost is fully taken by HawkFi as well. So we're really excited for people to try it out. In private testing, we're already at a stage where at the peak days, we're seeing 40 pairs created every day, which is around a 35% increase in the pair creation rate of Meteora. So as a goal, we actually believe that by the end of this year, we can already increase the number of pairs created daily by around 50 to 60%, and perhaps double it by Q1 next year. So that's going to be a really exciting future. Next is we have our DLMM strategy presets that you can essentially save your own strategies as you set them up, and you can share them with other users, let's say your followers. So you can essentially, right now, you can already choose from a bunch of strategies that we've set out internally, but very soon, for the strategy configurations that you set, you can start saving them and sharing them as well. The next feature I want to share is, for those that use HawkFi a lot, you probably would have noticed as well that recently we added a new default on the pool page where we now show what we call the LP terminal. And so in addition to the regular LP management workflow, we at the same time are now emulating more of like, the Axiom style sort of UX, where you see a real-time price chart, and you can choose between the token chart, you can choose between the pool price chart as well. And so you can essentially see the transactions that are going through in the pool while you're LPing into it. And the last workflow that I wanted to highlight is essentially a follow-on from the Pool Sniper feature, where the first bottleneck we're trying to solve is the rate at which pools are created. But after pools are created, there's the next stage, right? After a pool is created, you want the DLMMers to come in. You want LP Army to come in at scale, right? So we actually did the stats, and we look at the numbers. And usually, after a pair is created, if it's a successful pair, if it's the right pair and the volume starts to print, around 5, the median follower rate is around 5. But what we want to do is, we want to create, why is it 5? Why is it not 50, right? Especially if it's a successful pair. So something we're working on is the UX around, OK, let's say a new token is created after the pair is created. How do we make it much faster for people who use Meteora DLMM to see the new pairs that are out, to be able to quickly assess the quality of that pair, and to essentially in one click ape into that new pair as it comes out. And not just one click enter, but also automatically set the default automation that you want set up. So that's, we call that the ape-in feature. So that's something that we're super excited about. And actually, you can start using it. We launched it yesterday, literally. So you can go to hawkfi.ag. So yeah, that's essentially a bunch of the features that we wanted to announce. And we're super excited to fully focus on Meteora moving forward. If you have more questions to ask about, whether the vision and the reasoning and how to use some of these tools, feel free to reach out to me or my co-founder, Bradidon. He's walking around giving out T-shirts as well. Thank you very much.